David Butcher. That's John Shanley. And we
And
got
Morgan's back.
Morgan back
Hey,
on our
how you doing,
NASCAR
guys?
Sunday. Welcome in,
Going
everybody.
on?
It's NASCAR Sunday. And it's where we talk and
Yep.
discuss all about
NASCAR Sunday.
NASCAR. Yep, it's the NASCAR Sunday till football comes back. Then it's football Sunday.
Well, they already have the combine from football, so.
Yeah, it's quick. It's
But let's
quick.
talk about last week's race, Morgan. That was fun. It was really cool. We had
uh,
a bunch of crashes, a record
yeah.
crash. I guess they took out like 16 cars or something, which was
Yep.
a record.
There
And then
was
like it was the 2 laps where they were 4 deep, which is normally not to happen. And of course during that stint, nothing happened. So that didn't
well,
make
yeah.
any sense.
I mean, everyone knew they were four wide. They were on their best behavior. You don't think about it when you're three wide. You're like, yeah, I've got some wiggle room. When you're
Right.
four wide, you sneeze and it's over.
Yeah.
I was honestly, when they went four wide, I was like gripping my armrests on my seat, just waiting for someone to go sideways. But they made it through. I was quite shocked.
Yeah.
That was fun, and then the nice photo finish with 3 cars.
Oh
At the
man,
end.
that was
Normally it's only the two, but it was the
yeah.
one
It's
Bush. Kyle Busch kind of squeezed his way in the middle there. I was
yeah.
watching that race. He was my favorite the whole time because he was just bumping people out of the way, like get out of my
Oh
way.
yeah.
And then
Always, all the
like
time.
now he's just like, all right, boom, and then you go around him, which is pretty funny because I feel like he caused half of those wrecks even though he wasn't involved in them. The other thing
Yeah.
that I noticed was like I was watching that Austin Cindric and he was racing awesome. He was in the lead for a little bit
Yeah.
back and forth, but then at the end, I guess he's teammates with that Ryan Blaney, and he was instead
hmm
of trying to go for it himself, he was trying to help Blaney, which I don't understand. Maybe it's just the selfishness in me, but I don't know how that works with the teammates.
It sometimes it lines up with especially with pack racing. Like if you've got two lanes and you pull out, you're going backwards
Right,
because everyone the way the draft works is
right.
everyone else is like glued together, so they're gonna be moving faster. So it might have just been worse for him to try than to just push his teammate. You know?
Yeah, I just felt like I don't know. It's more for themselves. And then Suarez, like he was up there the whole time, and he just kind of
Yeah.
stuck in at the end, like
Yeah.
like whoa, where the hell did
Oh,
you come from?
I'm
But
I'm so happy he won. I love Trackhouse Racing. They're awesome, and Daniel Suarez is just such a cool guy. That's his second win in the Cup. I'm so happy for him.
yeah, that was seemed pretty cool. It's real interesting. Like they definitely don't have the same personalities that they did like 10 years ago. You know what I
No,
mean?
not at
They're,
all.
they're like they look like they were just playing video game NASCAR and then they just jumped in the car and now they did it. Like they
Yeah.
just they don't have a lot of personality, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It keeps them out of trouble. I also noticed there's no more uh, alcohol sponsors. I don't know if that's a thing.
Um, there are just not as many.
Because there
Ross
used to be
Chastain
like
and
a Budweiser car, there would be a
oh yeah, Miller, Coors.
Miller,
No,
right? And now it's like I don't
um,
even really see any of them, like the sponsors of alcohol. So I
yeah,
guess
they've
maybe they're trying to tighten up the
family
rules.
friendly.
Yeah, I guess. But and
Yeah,
then there was
they're around. Yeah,
the guy
like
who won the pole.
what was that?
The guy who won the pole got penalized and had to start last.
Yeah, so Joey Logano got caught with he was wearing gloves that
Like
had
the,
webbing
like
between
the
the
little
fingers.
web. Yeah, it was
So,
it was the little web thing on it between his finger and his thumb, and
yeah,
I guess that could affect how you hold the steering wheel,
like
but it
not
seems so
it's
minute.
so when you're at a drafting track where you don't hit the brakes, it's just full throttle. Um, Drivers will put their hands up, like they'll put it in like the window net to try and block some air. You get maybe a tenth. Like they interviewed other drivers saying like it doesn't make a big deal really. Um, but they tried it, they wanted to see it, and they got caught, so he got fined. He
Yeah,
got stupid lucky with that wreck on lap two. Because
yeah,
if it wasn't for that, his penalty would have put him like 2.5 laps behind everyone.
right. Like he started
So
last, and then he was in the middle, and then he was near the front, but then at the end he just got wrecked. So,
yeah,
and I think
luckily,
Bush that had something to do with that too. I don't know.
It
That
might
guy
have
was
been.
just headhunting. And I'm not gonna lie, like I enjoyed watching that. I'm like, this
Yeah.
dude's headhunting. I'm like, let's just let's get it. So I think he's gonna be a guy that I'm gonna root for now going forward, just because he's like all these other guys are just kind of like a little passive, and he's just as aggressive. Like I'm just gonna go get it. And apparently he won the truck series the night before or whatever.
Yeah. He
Maybe
won the
I'll
truck race.
That's so they can race.
Yeah, it wasn't
another...
for like points or anything.
Oh, okay, the truck series.
Yeah, they can race
for
another
fun.
series, but
cool.
like.
Well, a lot of these guys, like they'll go to a thing and there's like 3 different races, and then they'll race in all 3 of them. And some of them, it's happened before where they win all 3. You know,
if it's all at the same track, then I might as well just do something like you said earlier, John. That these guys are different attitudes, so they stay out of trouble. So why not just race? You know what I mean? That's the best way.
Well, that and sometimes it's practice. Like, you'll see some of the newer guys like, "Hey, I've never done this track before."
Yeah, that's
if there's an open seat in a lower series.
Yeah,
you know.
And they're not even looking to win; they're just looking to get the turns and the what speeds they need to be going at that right turn. So that's a good idea too. I didn't even think about strategy like that, like playing the chess pieces on the new track.
They're in Vegas, right?
What was that?
They're in Vegas today.
Yeah, they're in Vegas. No rain, but it's supposed to be super windy, which can blow the cars around a little bit. The Xfinity race yesterday, it was so windy they had to take their. They got camera guys on top of the suites. They had to actually take the camera guys down because they were getting wind gusts up to 70.
Oh my gosh!
Now my buddy says this is another fast track, so you're probably going to be looking at similar to the last 2. I mean, he said nothing really compares to Daytona, but
so
he's like going to be fast, and if it's dry, then you're going to see the same thing. A lot of wrecks, a lot of cautions, but I don't know. What do you think?
It's not nearly the same. So it's a fast track. Cars are going to be going quick, but they're not going to be racing like 2 lanes, bumper to bumper, cutthroat like they were. So that's drafting style racing. With Vegas, you just get quicker speeds because it's a 1.5 mile track, but they don't have the banking for the higher speeds. So there's a chance for there to be a lot more wrecks, but there's also a lot more room for strategy to play in. And honestly, some people say it takes more skill at these tracks. I think it takes skill to race anywhere, but who am I?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we'll check it out. We'll see how it goes. It should be fun. This is Dave and I's kind of like for me, it's kind of a reintroduction. Even though I watched it before in the past because I had a lot of friends that were into it, I never really followed it. Like I watched it, oh cool, like whoever wins, I'll root for this guy. But I wasn't paying attention about strategies and whatnot and this and that. But now for the show, fuck it, let's just do it, let's get into it. There's no football. I gotta tell you, I had a blast last Sunday, just hanging out, watching the race.
There is football.
Right about it, but it kind of pissed me off with all the wrecks because it just slows down.
Yeah,
and
it slows it down, and
then it adds an extra 2 hours of whatever.
Yeah,
the crashes are exciting for the moment, but then you always hope that once they get into the last 5-6 laps that they don't have a crash.
Yeah, you want
to actually have a finish. You don't want to have them finish it in.
Well, that's when I want them to crash. 2 laps left. And when it's on the line, you know what I mean? That's what I like, because at the end of the day, if it's 2 laps left and they crash each other, then that was all hard fight. My bad, I can't talk right now. But if they're wrecking in 30 laps in, and you're like, oh god, that's so that's not what I want the thing, because they're not really racing for positioning at that time. You know what I mean? They're just kind of flowing with the track, and they're just trying to get their bearings and stay in the roundabouts of, hey, okay guys, it's like we say 16, 17 laps left. Start getting the engine heated up for real, and let's start really going, because that's what it's about, man. It's about that last 5-6 laps that people are just pushing the bearings. That engine's coils are just blaring red, and they're just accelerated, and they're just trying to figure out a way how to shoot themselves into first place and win with the one lap to go or with the green flag out and is just ready to freaking win, you know? So like, who do you got, Morgan? Who do you got this week?
Yeah, who do you got?
Yeah,
Um,
I'm on the app. I'm on the app right now. It says Kyle Larson. It says Kyle
Kyle
Larson
Larson
Kyle
is
Larson.
yeah. It says
Yeah,
Kyle Larson is the
Larson
favorite.
or
And
William
Larson or Logano.
Byron, Willie. Yeah, okay. So Joey
Byron
Logano.
is ranked second, but
Yeah,
Logano is third.
I like
Why
that.
Larson? Is he really the best driver right now? Or and then you said that this is going to be a track more of skill than of the other stuff. So if that's the
Um,
case, then
let me rephrase that. It's not necessarily more skill; it's less luck. Like, yeah, luck still plays into it, but you're not running so close together that a wreck is going to collect the whole field like it would at Daytona or Atlanta. Um, Kyle Larson, Logano, and Byron, the
Byron
three
won
of
that
them,
race last year.
yeah, they have the best average finish at this track out of all the active drivers currently. That's
Mm-hmm.
just why they're likely to be, why they're listed so high up. They're just good drivers. They're the top right now, so they're gonna be able to take care of business, and they'll be there at the end of it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hamlin near the end of this.
Okay.
Um, he's still hungry for his championship that he doesn't have yet. Um, so he's gonna be fighting like every race to be in it. But I'm pulling for Larson on this one.
Okay.
So we think that Larson's going to win. His odds are not as good, so I'm going to put 5 on Joey Logano since that's your second guy you said
Yeah.
because he has a
I'm
good
Well,
gonna
Logano
possibility.
Logano won the pole again. He's starting first again, and this time with regular gloves. So
Okay, I'm going to place the bet on Joey
It
Logano.
might be Logano because he was favored a couple weeks ago, and he just bad
Well,
luck whatever. But
yeah.
yeah,
he's obviously
He's a
has one of
really
the
good
best.
driver, man. He really is. And who would
yeah,
have thought that him taking Tony Stewart's positioning and racing for what was it, Home Depot? Was it Home
yeah.
Depot's car? Like who would have thought Joey Logano was gonna be like this guy? Like, and then he started racing then, and he was really good then. So now he's just like a Kyle Busch kind
Well,
of thing, where like you just know that that guy's gonna line up on the pole, and he's gonna have a chance to win the race no matter where he's at, you know. And if he's
yeah.
winning 2 weeks in a
Well,
Part
row
of
it's
me
now,
it,
put some money on the guys that I rooted for last week because I enjoy watching them race. But when I look at Austin Cindric, dude's like 5,001 because like what's going to happen is if I put money on him and then he helps his fucking teammate win again, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I'm gonna be like,
um
you fucking son of a bitch.
yeah.
Why?
be be selfish for once in your life.
Exactly, because like Blaney's only plus 1,100. He's plus 5,000.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more if he
Well,
wins.
Yeah,
well,
sometimes you gotta take.
Cindric's weird. So Cindric, his rookie season won the Daytona 500,
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
and
I'm gonna make
Well,
a
the
last
list.
thing that stood
year,
out at me at first is he had this neon yellow car where everybody else has kind of like normal colors. He looked like something out of like 1992 with this bright yellow neon, and I'm like, what the hell is this? But like, he was good because like all these crashes were happening, and he wasn't causing them
yeah,
Kyle Busch, but he was just like avoiding everybody, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really good. And he was out there at the end, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh,
You
maybe I'll
think
put some money at the top three or something like that.
you
But
think
like,
JJ
you know,
uh,
Yealy will be in the top 10?
no,
No.
that's a. So JJ Yaley is in the 44 car for NY Racing Team.
Yeah.
They are a underfunded, very part-time. Like they're still trying to get their foot in the door, so they don't have the best equipment. Um, if he wins, something went wrong in his favor.
N-
Just like they tried Daytona, they weren't fast enough. They skipped Atlanta. They've tried last year, and they're just not up to everyone else yet because they're still like trying to break into the sport. So
Yeah.
If you can put money on it, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money, but I wouldn't do it myself.
No, no, I'm just asking. His eyes are so small.
Well, yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
I wonder if let's say like teammates go in the back after the race and they're like, "Hey man, I tried to help you win, but it didn't." And then the guy's like, "Well, maybe if you would have like helped me out a little bit more, maybe I would have won the fucking race." And he's like, "You know what? Fuck you. You
I
wouldn't
mean,
have
I'm sure they do.
me." And then that's it. Just
I'm
off.
sure they do.
But they don't. They don't show that.
Mm-mm.
On the thing. It's all professional. I mean,
Well,
I wonder
Nas-
too if part of it is like, oh man, I missed on that second place $4 million paycheck, and instead I had to settle for this fifth place like $3 million paycheck. Like, damn, I'm really,
right.
you know,
Well,
Oh,
NASCAR's a bit weird. So if two drivers are going at it, they'll sort of like they'll let them settle it for a couple minutes before they truly like get involved. So in the Xfinity series after Atlanta last week, Jason Miller, who was a crew chief for oddly enough JJ Yaley, but he was racing in the Xfinity series last week. So the crew chief, he's normally on the pit box making the decision calls. He went down and got into an altercation with the driver because he didn't like how the driver, Kyle Weatherman, he didn't like how Weatherman was racing Yaley. So he got off the pit box and went down and started yelling at a different driver, like, "Hey, you don't fucking race my guy like that."
yeah.
And then NASCAR suspended him for 2 races because they were like, "You don't." The drivers can fight, but we don't let crew chiefs and drivers fight.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I seen this thing. It's called matchups. It's on the better thing. Is a matchup mean that like the two racers who wins out of them, who do you think's gonna win versus C Bell versus M Truex Jr. Trucks, is it Trucks? How do you say his
All
last name?
right, Truex.
Truex, yeah.
So Christopher Bell and Martin Truex Jr. They are both extremely talented. Martin Truex Jr. is a former champion. He's been in the sport since, oh God, I don't even know how long. Christopher Bell was in the Final Four last year. He's also extremely talented. I don't know which way I would put this. I would say
Hey, all right. Well, let's make it
very
easier for you.
slight.
I'm gonna make
I'd
it
say
easier for
slightly
you.
leaning towards Martin Truex there.
There's a bunch of them. I'm gonna give you the one, and then you tell me which one you think's a lock. We got C Bell
Okay.
versus M. We got Ray R Blaney versus Kyle Busch. W Bryan versus D Hamlin. C Busher versus D Wallace Jr. Joey Logano versus B Keselowski. E Jones versus D Squares. T Reddick versus C Elliott. And the last one is R Chastain versus A Bowman.
Whoever picked those really knows what the hell they're doing because those are all like neck and neck.
Well, that's why they do it. The odds are
Yeah.
small too. It's like 150 to 210, so they really are like neck and neck competitors to each other.
Um, who'd they have against Bowman?
It was R Chastain.
Gosh, I'd pick Bowman over Chastain out of all of those.
All right, I'm gonna do it. $5 on Bowman.
Yeah,
And so yeah,
Chastain is good, but he's very spotty. Like sometimes he'll be like running up front, and then like the next race he's like middle
all
of the
right, good.
pack. So
We
I
we
think I think Bowman's just got the better consistency.
yeah. It's just a fun little bet. Nothing crazy. You only win like $5.
Yeah,
It's just a fun little
right.
bet. So we'll do it. We'll do it to see. That's pretty cool. They have matchups and stuff like that. And why not ask the NASCAR guy, hey, what's the
Yeah,
matchup going to be? And those are like the ones that, like, when you're playing roulette and you put a black or red, that's what those bets are.
yeah.
Like, hey, let's put like
I got
$500
you.
on here, win 1,000, and make it a win. You know what I mean? Because it doubles up your money.
Yeah.
Those are those kind of bets.
exactly.
Cause, yeah, you're like,
Yep.
and what you're praying for that whole race is that the guy you're voting against
Well,
is
and that's the thing. It's a
Rex.
50-50 bet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the fact that you can actually win your money back, because normally nowadays what they do in the gambling is it's not a 50-50 bet. It's like if
Yeah.
it's close 50-50, it's like you're going to bet $5, but you're going to win $4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that way the house always collects, you know,
yeah.
and that's why, like, statistically, it's so hard because, you know, the more even the bet, the less you're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if a top team who's going to, you know, be a really good playing a bottom team,
Yeah.
you're going to bet them straight up to win without that ridiculous 15-point spread. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you're going to win. You're going to bet $100. You're going to win 30.
Yeah, you
So,
gotta,
you know, the
you
loss
have
is
to,
definitely
yeah,
the reward.
for
So,
sure. That's why I think it because of how much risk there is in the NASCAR zone. It's like you're racing, and even though it's just those two guys racing each other, there's like we always talk about it when the Cup Series comes to the final end. They're not racing in the playoffs just versus 4 people. They have the whole 32 drivers there,
Yeah.
right? So it's like
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
what makes it such a reliable bet for them because they're not like, oh, you know what? If this guy gets a 4 gap lead on him, he could still make it. No, he could wreck, and then the guy behind him, it was the guy. And
Yep.
now, even if he
Yep.
wrecks like 4 or 5 laps later, he wins that matchup because he's going to be on top of him in the standings because he wrecked 4 laps later. You know, so that's what you're
Yep.
waiting for. You know,
Yep.
you hit a matchup, you say, hey, I want this guy to win. But I did take Joey Logano to win like $40, so whatever. If he wins,
Okay.
let's go. If he doesn't win, I'm gonna yell at Morgan on next week's episode.
I'm gonna put. I don't know what I'm gonna put. I still want to. I'm gonna root for Bush no matter what. So I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna maybe I'll bet him for like top 3 or something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
thought there's not a bad
Finish second.
one. Yeah,
But I feel like the way he drove last week, they're gonna be gunning to fucking take him out the rest of the field. Like fuck you. But I don't know.
Kyle
Maybe
Busch
they
has
aren't.
always
Maybe
been
it's
that
old,
way though. That's
you
his
know?
attitude. But Kyle Busch is like he's still the old school driver, man. Like he literally
Yeah.
is angry. He drives like that because I remember a couple years ago when me and Morgan were talking all the time, or in like a year before that, because I haven't watched it, but I watched Kyle Busch, and he's just an aggressive driver like that. People hate that about him, but that's how he drives. I've been watching that
That's
for
it.
him for years. Yeah, like they're like,
And you know
"Damn."
what? Like he's very much like the Dale Earnhardt. Like I didn't watch when that was out, but like
Yeah.
the old NASCAR fans loved him. But
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
the same.
yeah.
Everybody on the circuit hated him, but he was just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
aggressive as shit, and he would just fucking take you out. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't until like guys like Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon where they were the pretty boys, but they
Yeah.
just could fucking race.
They
And they
can
could
race,
fucking
yeah.
drive, and they also had the best equipment, and
Yeah.
they had like the top stuff and top cars. So like, and they didn't drive that aggressively, so that's why people hated them. It was just like, they were just
Yeah.
tickled at what they did, and the old school fans wanted the fucking the
Yeah.
wall or the crash and burn
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure,
So
for sure. No.
for me, it's new, but it's I like that old school style of just
Yeah.
get the fuck out of my way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If
That's-
you're here to race, then race.
Yeah, race. That's it,
Exactly,
man. Because
so-
if you run that backyard racing with them, those boys before they come up into the NASCAR, because these kids are racing since they're like 4 years old. You know what I mean? They're not just, hey, I'm a NASCAR driver tomorrow. You know what I mean? No, they're literally putting in the work
Yeah.
of becoming
Yeah.
racing lawnmowers, racing toilet bowls, whatever the hell they can put on a freaking wheel and got gas to it. They're gonna race it. So racing anything they can, like so. Because I wish I
Basically.
did that. Because I definitely would have had some fun doing that. That was a big great time. But yeah, no man, like that's Kyle Busch. Like he's gonna be that way for his whole career. But yeah, like you said, Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart too. But Jeff Gordon, those guys.
Jeff
Like, those
Gordon.
were,
Yeah.
Back when my friends and I was playing the softball leagues and whatnot, they were all like, "Oh, I can't wait to get out of here because I want to go watch the race." And it's like,
yeah.
okay. And then they all hated Jeff Gordon, and I'm like, "Why?"
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
every time, and like we hate him. He's
They
just
hate him because he's good.
Yeah.
he's good, I guess.
Yeah. That's
because
why
of
everyone hates the
time.
Yankees and everyone hated Tom Brady because they're good.
They're
Yeah.
good. They win. Yeah, that's probably that eventually what he came down to because he did. He just won every fucking time, and
Yeah.
they hated him. So
It's the
but
first
whatever.
year,
I don't care.
The first time they win, people love it. It's the underdog story. Oh my God, Jeff
Yeah.
Gordon won. Oh my God, Jimmy Johnson won. It's like Patrick Mahomes. You're getting tired of seeing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl because
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
now everyone hates the
boring.
fucking Chiefs.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it makes the game feel
Well,
like it's like fixed. You're like,
Honestly, Yes, it does seem fixed, but I feel more hate towards Taylor Swift and Kelsey than Mahomes.
But yeah, that's
like,
you know what I mean. Like,
it's a conspiracy. It's a whole conspiracy thing, and it's like she's the reason we lost.
In NASCAR, it's so unexpected. That's why Jimmy Johnson will always be my new favorite driver because of how many championships he won, because of how how it's not supposed to work like that. You know what I mean? It's not.
And the other thing is NASCAR is primarily like a Southern thing.
Yeah.
And he lived in New York City. He was like a Northerner. Like he just not. That's kind of like people couldn't connect to relate to him. And like it was so fun seeing stuff because like nobody recognizes him in New York City, and that's where he lived. And he's just
he looks like a normal 9-to-5 guy that works at the trade market. You know what I mean? But like no, like that's what it is. Like you never know. That's why the NASCAR is like probably like the most. You can't fix that because the only way you can fix it is if your crew chief is in your ear telling you, "Hey, I want you to crash into that guy on purpose." And then it makes so there's no such thing as fixes because they can't throw different flags out. They can penalize you, so they can fix that. That's the only thing they probably can do. They could like they're Joey Logano having gloves on. You know, oh man, you really the way that you held that steering wheel differently this week because of those wet gloves. You know what I mean? That's the only thing they can do because there's no such
that was
thing.
So weird.
Yeah, like
but even then it was they fined him because it was a safety violation because it's against the safety rules to modify it wasn't an approved racing glove. So it's like it was against the rules, so he got penalized for it.
Makes sense. But that's what I'm saying. It was the rule book, so you should have read the rule book. You should have asked before you put those gloves on. I know that in your locker room there's 2 pairs of gloves. You could have put another pair of gloves on. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like, you know what? Today we're just gonna try these out, and there's no other gloves in the garage. Okay? You're like, okay, I guess I'll wear these. But no, yeah.
Well, it's funny is.
No, go ahead.
They were asking other drivers about it, and they asked Denny Hamlin, they're like, would you have put the gloves on? He was like, oh, absolutely. I would have tried it.
Right.
If you can get away with it, then, we're going to try and get away with it.
The only reason we saw it is because they were monitoring him. He kind of, like, put it up there. So
but that's what I'm saying. Like, they're like, these gloves right here, what they do to the engine is so crazy. You put the hands on there, and the webbing, there's electric pulse. It goes into the steering wheel, into your computer chip, and gives you 500 more horsepower. I promise you. Like, what are these gloves got on them? What are they doing?
Well, they stick them in the window net, and it stops the air from coming in, so it gives them a better slipstream through the.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
When they're driving through the air.
Okay, that could be a possibility. Like, I have to go 190 miles an hour and have my one hand like this.
Which they do that anyways. They do that anyways at Daytona. You'd see all the drivers like they'd be driving, they'd have their window like up ahead of them like that, just trying to get like tenths. You know,
it's that's how much these first place cars are. That like they're all powerful. So you're like, if I can knock off my lap time by a 0.2 second faster than that person that was in front of me, I can win this thing. You know. All these drivers are good, no matter because like if I went and raced the guy who was in last place in NASCAR, he'll probably whoop my ass. You know what I mean in a race. So you know what I mean. That's
just like, in general. Like there's a real reason why they're professionals. You know what I mean? Because they, they are able to do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, no, for
better
sure.
Than
and it all comes down to what's the name. I think that racing, when I'm on the street racing a guy. If his car's faster than me, then he's probably going to win. If my car's faster than him, he's probably going to win. But at these NASCAR tracks, you have to make sure your gas is good. You have to make sure your tires are good. You got to make sure.
And that's where the strategy really comes in because it's okay, I'm doing okay. Do I risk getting gas now? Yeah. And that's why, like, you see the fluctuation, like. Because they broke it up by quarters, and it was like, okay, this guy was like in the lead in the first quarter, and then he was like down by the second, but he probably pitted one more time and got like maybe he got 4 tires instead of 2 tires, or maybe he filled up with more gas. So like, but then balances out. So now by the third, now they're back up at the front,
Yes.
and then the other ones are in.
Well,
so
that's
that's why it fluctuates too.
that's where your crew chief comes in. He should be that guy. He should be your like when you're watching Rocky Balboa and his coach or his trainer is like showing him that's what your crew chief has to be. Hey man, what's your gas mile at? Okay, it says this. You're a quarter into your gas. All right, well, I think you got 3 more good laps because I know what your times are going. I know what your car is pushing. I should know what your gas is doing. Okay, what's your tires at? Okay, what are you feeling right now? Because they're not going to tell you that when you're watching, like, unless you bought that NASCAR thing. I know you can buy that NASCAR thing where you can hear all the crew chiefs talking.
Yeah, the scanner.
Unless you buy that, like, they're not showing that on TV. That's usually like in the race car, like when you go to the track kind of thing, you know. But like that's what your crew chief. Like, that's how they win championships. He doesn't run up to his crew chief and give him a big ass hug for no reason. He gave him because he's like, you have the skills to drive. I'm gonna be your fucking angel in your ear that's showing you, yo,
right.
I need you to fucking listen to me, right? I need you to, when I tell you to post off, you post off. When I tell you to go high, you go high. When I tell you to pit, you pit. You just keep communication with me, and we can win this race. You know what I mean? And especially, like you say, if you have a fast car for that track or that day, or you're like already sponsored good, you're already going to have a good crew chief. You're going to have like we already talked about, the pit teams are pretty much all the same now because they're all hiring really good like athletes who didn't make it to the pros, but they can be really cool and go and run and throw tires on there and give gas and shit. And it all comes down to pit, man. Like John was saying, did you pit those 2 tires early? Okay, now we're gonna have to pit it again because, like you said, the last race, everybody was running out of gas because their crew chief's like, hey, I think you can make it. You know what I mean? Or they think they could make it.
When they're under the caution, they're doing less gas or more gas.
Less gas, like saving fuel.
Saving fuel. So
they're not turning as many RPM, so they're not burning through it as quick.
You never know, right? This guy's back there at the last thing, and he's rolling. He's like, "You can't pass me. We're on caution. You can't pass me." And he's just rolling, waiting for that first car.
There's been races. There's been races where it's so close, like there's like 1 lap to go after the caution, but people are so low on fuel, they're like drive down on the apron.
Yeah.
Just so that they're taking the shorter distance around the track to try and save fuel.
Yeah, because you could go slow there. You don't have to worry about spinning out of control by going down there losing traction. Because I remember, this is a funny story. I rode an ATV. I was like riding an ATV. And literally, I was on the road, and then I went in the grass, and I'm talking about you lose traction. Like, you're like, whoa, whoa. And I was doing 50 miles an hour, training from the concrete to the thing, and I almost busted my ass. So, like you're like, hey, I'm on a caution. I can go here, slip myself into that back of the next car, and when he throws that, what flag does it mean after you can continue racing? I don't know what the color flag is.
The green flag.
Okay, the green flag. Okay, the green flag. I'm just gonna go, and we're gonna hope we're gonna make this last lap to win this race. But
and it's all funny. They're all they swerve to try.
Well, I think that's their traction, right? Isn't that their traction?
Yeah, it's to warm up the tires, get the tires sticky, so they don't spin them on the restart.
Yeah, because I used to, like I told you guys, my friend's dad, he used to do that with the little ones, and before they start the race, they always just do that the whole thing just to. So they're like, hey, we're ready to go. But I would love to do like 130 mile an hour is not fast, but it is fun. Like, that's why he was like, he always had a good time. But it was smaller cars. But yeah, 198 miles an hour, man, I would love to do it. I would. Like
crazy.
I think you can. I think out at Daytona, I think you can ride along like they have an experience. I don't know how much it is, but you can like ride along with a former driver, and they'll go that fast.
Yeah. I might have to do it one day. I want to see if he'll like you know what I mean. I got a good personality. I'll try to vibe with him, see if he lets me do the old jump into the driver's seat, because they're gonna make you put on all the stuff anyway and wear the helmet, so you're already prepared, because they're not gonna let you be in the car with just your ball shorts and a tank top. You're gonna have to get dressed up. So like at the end of the day, you're sitting there. But yeah, no, man, I'm starting to like NASCAR. Maybe it's my old age. The older you get, the more you're like, oh, man.
Well, you just want to sit around on a Sunday, drink and watch something. So
maybe that's it. Maybe
why not NASCAR?
It's true.
Like golf,
John,
but golf starts at 8 in the morning, and like unless you're a pro and drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to really
Yeah.
do
it's
that.
that night shift
I mean, you
life.
could do it on your vacation, but I'm not like feeling it. I want to have my coffee
If you're
first, and then,
drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning and you're alone, you got a problem. You know, like
well, listen, I'm not judging anybody.
no,
There's
no,
people who work
alone.
overnight.
If you're with your, I don't, dude. I'm a social drinker, so like I only drunk after
Yeah.
work because everybody else was drinking. But if I was drinking alone at the house
Oh,
watching golf at
oh,
8 o'clock in the morning,
you've never been married, right?
no, never been
Yeah.
married. No, no rings on these fingers. You know what I mean? But still, man, like even
Listen,
though he worked
there was
overnight,
times where it's like when I was married, and it was like, oh, the wife and the stepdaughter's going out for the evening. I'm by myself. I'm just killing a 12 pack, watching whatever I want. It's
Yep.
usually like, dude, I could be watching the Spanish channel because there was boxing
yeah, there
on.
you
I don't know
go.
what they're saying, but that guy sure can't throw a left hook.
It'd be like 11:30 at night. My wife would come home. She'd be like, "How many beers do you have?" I'm like, "I don't know." And there's like a stack of like 14 beers just empty. And she's like, "Are you watching the Spanish channel?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's these lightweight boxing things. I don't know what they're saying, but they're beating the hell out of each
Yeah,
other."
there you go.
Yep.
Enjoying it, so,
Yeah,
you
Jake
know.
Paul won last night. He had a boxing match. I was watching. I didn't
Oh, he's
watch it.
still doing.
I was watching the Lightning game because I was getting like I was like, yo, they
Yeah,
really,
Lightning won in
yeah, they
overtime, and
did win in
Rangers lost in
overtime.
overtime. Rangers had a good game, but
Yeah, that was,
whatever. It was good. Couple good games. Rangers next game against Panthers, so that's another
that's a big
big
game.
time game
Yeah,
for them. So
yeah, we needed that win, man, because it was four
you
games
did because
losing.
the Panthers won again.
Yeah,
Well, they beat the Red Wings, who are also in the playoff with
nice.
you guys
Yeah,
for the extra thing. So
yeah, because like we were literally like 2-2. We came back. Then all of a sudden we had to do a shorthanded goal, which was beautiful by what's his name, Max something. I can't remember his name now. He's not a a first liner. What was I thinking? I was gonna say something on the show about lines, but maybe it was to myself though. Oh, it was about Sorelli. Never mind. It's to myself. I said this guy needs to do something. He finally scores a goal. I said that shit right before he scored too. I said, man,
there you go.
I said Sorelli
Maybe
needs to
Vegas
start.
was listening
Yeah,
and it
maybe,
said you should
man.
have fucked.
Yeah, because I said, man, Sorelli's too good, man. He's been on all our championship teams. He's been humongously used, and now what line he's on? That's what I was talking to myself last night because I was just doing some like stuff watching, and I'm like, man, Sorelli's too good. What line is he on? He's not on the line. See, he used to be with Point, but now Point's on the first line because we don't have a lot of talent when it comes to scoring. So not only is it Point, Kucherov, and freaking Steven Stamkos all on the fucking first line, so like that hurts out Sorelli because now Sorelli has been thrown to like the third line, and because he has to help out other people. And it's like you have to rotate him during the game to put him on the first line. So he's with like good thing he finally got pushed in with Hagel because Hagel's good, but Hagel's not on the first line. So, but the thing is you have to have superstars on every line so that it kind of makes it work. You know what I mean? Because if your third line is out there and there's nobody but like rookies, they're gonna get destroyed. You know what I mean? And even though it's only 30 seconds, it only takes fucking 5 seconds to score a goal, especially when you have nobody on the team that can shoot. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, the first line is great. So when the power play comes out or they're starting the game and you got not Brandon Hagel, you got Braden Point, you got Kucherov, and then you got Steven Stamkos. You're like, yeah, like can this line stay out every damn time? You know what I mean? Because this is the best line. But at the end of the day, when you go
Well,
to your
right now, there's not a lot of deep teams. Like they're very
yeah,
front line heavy. Like their front line gets all their points, and the
yeah,
rest is just defense and
yeah,
keeping them in the game. So you don't get a lot of offense, but that's what happens when you have so much talent in the league. Like there's
yeah.
only so much you can, and that's
Look,
why like the best teams have good like special teams with
yeah.
power play and power play kill, and they'll get a lot of shorthanded goals because they put their top offensive line guys out there and they can kill a penalty. But if they can get a breakaway, then all of
Oh,
a sudden
dude,
it's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. That's all it
yes.
takes. And it was shocking because like he like literally, if it wasn't for that pass and him going over there and like literally reading it perfectly. Like some of these shots you watch, if you can get the camera angle and watch it from the back and see like what it was, because like that goalie, I can't remember his name that we played against. He's really good, man, and he was stopping some of those big things. Like Steven Stamkos scored, but Steven Stamkos is almost a given when it comes to the shootout. You know what I mean? He's just so damn good. His shot is great, and he's just he's a captain for a reason. You know what I mean? He's literally the captain for a reason.
Yeah.
But no, Victor Hedman came out there, man. And I'm like, oh my god, I like Victor Hedman, but I don't think, dude, and he just embarrassed the goalie, man, to score that last winning thing. And you're like, wow, what a shot! Like literally, like on the right pad, this close from hitting the right pad to put it in to the right side of the crossbar and to score, and you're just like, wow. And then Vasky finally showed the fuck up because he was so mad at himself. He like knew it. He got like stuck with his like pad to the right, and then his left pad to the too far left, and he was trying to bring it back in, and that would have stopped it, but they shot it right there. But yeah. But yeah.
Well, you know that's the thing. Like these guys are great, but they stop certain things that other goalies can't. But even if you're the best goalie in the world, you're going to get beat. You know, because
Yeah.
these guys are so good,
They are.
and they're so good at like redirection and you know bouncing it off stuff and beating you in so many different ways. It's crazy. So you know, you just kind of go with it, and then like I said, you can be the best goalie in the world. There'll be games where you give up like 5 goals, and it's like,
Oh,
but you know,
I've
that's
seen
just
it,
how it
and they
goes.
don't. If you're a really good goalie, they don't usually take you out. They just say, "Hey, man,
Right.
let's just better
You get him next time.
because you're not gonna put
Yeah.
that on his head and say, "Oh, come on out
Right.
of the game now." Unless Vasky says, "Bring me out," he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't
Right.
care
If
about
he's
his save
hurt or
percentage.
something like that, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't care about his save percentage. These goalies that are really good don't give a fuck. Like they're already good. They know that they don't need that 920 save average. They like, hey, when I go to the playoffs, I'll show you 100% save. So, you know, like
Right.
That's
so
when it matters.
that's when it matters.
That's
So
when it matters.
they're like, if I get scored on 5 more times in this regular season game, it's just gonna help me looking at things. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what professional take it differently because like when you really like care about something and you really dissect it,
Beat yourself up over it.
yeah, you beat yourself over it. You really digest it to like the point. That's why these people that are professionals, like a NASCAR driver, like to know your car that well. Like if I drove it,
Yep.
I'm just trying to pass people, but it's not that. You know what I mean? Like NASCAR is more than that. You know what I mean? Like that's why like it's to me it's so hard because like I'm like I can ride in a car and drive fast and be productive in it and probably beat a lot of people on the street. And I know how to weave through traffic and stuff like that, but to go on there and power this humongous vehicle that goes 198 miles an hour and then for 400 fucking laps or 200 laps or whatever it is. That's just amazing because like that's a long time, and I would poop myself in the car.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't
There's
get out of the car
drivers
for
that have
5
done that.
hours, you know. It is what it is. I'm sure they have little like you know.
Like they got to check themselves for hemorrhoids and get their local. Like they got to go to the doctor a lot because you're sitting a lot. It's like a truck driver. You know what I mean? You're sitting for that long. It doesn't feel like that because we could sit here and talk for
Maybe
4 hours.
they probably have those like things that they hook up so you can go to the bathroom, and then like
Do
in
they
these
have
cars
that?
you can even streamline to like shoot it all over the fucking track like a little like. You can use that
Mario
as like,
Kart.
They said
Right.
that car is shooting
how
out
did
some
how did this
oil.
get spiked all of a sudden?
That car is shooting out
I
some
had,
oil, but it's actually poop.
I had a bunch of water, so you know.
Yeah, no, a lot of water makes your making the poo poo not hard, so it just comes out like a spitting oil out of the exhaust pipe, and you're like, whoa. That was. He said, it says number 44 has spun out from oil. We think, and it's like,
Not oil.
yeah, it's not oil, buddy. That oil wouldn't have gave that much slickness. You know, what I mean, that's Yeah, I don't know.
Too
Like
funny.
Morgan was saying, he said that people do poop while you're driving. What do? You have to just sit in the
Eh,
shit for the
you,
whole time.
you deal
Well,
with it.
I'm sure they wear diapers. You know,
Yeah, you have to.
the inner sons of NASCAR that you just don't know.
I mean,
Ah,
they're in so many layers, anyways, because the fire suit and the under layers for so you don't burn to death if you catch on fire.
yeah. What
Yeah,
happens
you
is,
might, you might have some burning if you had like hot wings the night before. You
what do they?
know.
Yeah, what do they eat the night before? Because I would. Oh my god, I'm eating like bread, something to fucking absorb
Right?
my fucking belly.
What'd you have for dinner? Saltine
Yeah,
crackers.
that's it, man. I like you wake up. That's why they do the races so late in the afternoon at 3 o'clock because they
They want to
gotta.
make sure they're empty.
Yeah, literally because like
You
they're
gotta
like,
make sure everyone's regular.
yeah, dude. They're
Hmm.
like, yo, this is crazy. Comes down to your stomach. Like I know, like if you have to go to the bathroom after Taco Bell and you're like, yo, can you imagine being like because you're stuck on the road. They don't wear catheters, right?
No.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's crazy, man.
John, you'd mentioned the listening to the scanner. You can create an account at I think it's NASCAR, and as long as you're on your computer, you can listen to any of the drivers for free.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah.
I'm about to do that.
Yeah.
It's on NASCAR's
They
website.
for Yeah, NASCAR.com. If you do it over the phone, you have to sign up for premium, but on a desktop or a laptop, it's free.
Wow.
That's interesting. I wonder if they like curse each other out,
I wouldn't be surprised. No,
or like or do they try to keep it fan friendly type of
you
stuff?
know, you should when we're done here, you should watch just look up best of NASCAR radioactives
Okay.
because it's basically all the radio chatter put into like a 5-minute video from whatever race it is. They're swearing all the time.
Well,
Like
yeah, because
all the time, yeah.
my way, you
Like
son of a bitch.
like I'm fucking loose in the corners. Or
That's
like there was one. there was one that like just hang on to it there. What the fuck do you think I've been doing?
right. That's
Yeah,
fun.
so it's
Yeah,
no, the
I believe
radioactives
that.
on YouTube are fantastic.
Yeah, I believe that can happen. I believe that it's a
I'll have to
high,
check that out.
yeah, intensified.
Yeah,
But
you
then I'll end
mentioned.
up liking other drivers just because they're fucking crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you would have loved early Kurt
I
Busch.
think I lost you guys, or did you lose me?
We can still see and hear you. Well, I can at least.
I think he's frozen now. Look at him.
Oh, now he's frozen.
Yeah, we gotta get everybody. Go to my link tree, and we'll get John a new laptop. Morgan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm just fucking with
Oh
you.
yeah, I was like, this, I'm like, I think he's here. I'm like, I think I can see him breathing. He's like, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think of that. I should have stopped breathing.
yeah, it is. But everything else is
He looks so
moving.
concerned.
And with John today,
Yeah, we gotta.
yeah,
We should get him a phone stand. He can start doing these on his phone.
yeah, yeah. I got a little phone stand right here. That's what I do my lives on.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so I put like
Has it got
this
the
on my
MagSafe on it?
Yep. And then it goes like this, and then I put the cards in front of me when I go live. I gotta go live after
Nice.
this broadcast, so I got a couple more teams I gotta fill up so I can rip. Wow, he's really concerned about us. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the good face on to listen to us.
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys, everybody that listens and watches and stuff like that. We appreciate
Oh
you.
yeah.
We'll keep on going here. We like to have Sundays. We'll probably, I guess we'll end it. Oh, he might be back.
Yeah.
He might not be back.
He's
Oh,
trouble. Oh, we can hear
I
him.
am trouble. No, I'm
We've got
back.
audio.
You're back. You're
Yeah,
back.
hold on. I'm trying this.
I don't know. I'm having trouble with my computer. All of a sudden, you guys just froze, and I could see myself. But now, like Discord itself, just like completely turned off, and it's saying it's not able to connect. So
Well,
That's
I guess
weird.
That,
Well,
I
we can
guess
hear you.
that's our show.
I can
Yeah.
see you guys. I can hear you guys. Now I can see you. I'm on my phone right now, so
Oh, okay,
I
that's
don't know why the
Okay.
computer started working, but
yeah.
eventually maybe the phone will let me.
I told everybody
Uh,
to get you a new laptop.
yeah.
Go to my link tree.
Yeah, I don't know.
Send some donations my way. I'll get John a new laptop for his for the stream.
I'm online. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, I have limited access. You know what happens? I'm out in the boonies, and what probably happened was my internet access went down. That's why I'm able to talk to you guys through my phone, but I'm not able to
Mm.
actually connect.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
my internet is limited right now because someone's probably doing something in the neighborhood. But at least you get my wonderful voice, which my
There you
mother
go.
Yeah.
says I have a face for radio anyway. So
There you go. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Thank you, mommy, for that.
yeah, thanks, Mom.
But yeah, we were saying the Heat are the best. How's the Knicks looking? The Heat are playing some good basketball.
Oh yeah, they're doing the Rhines. The Knicks are treading water. You know,
Yeah.
they're getting some luck with the teams behind them. They're looking at the 4 or 5 spot right now. They're falling behind the top three, but you know they have injuries. But the good news is it sounds like all three of their guys are going to be back by the end of the month. So
Oh, that's good.
right in time for that playoff run. We're going to get Randall's supposed to be back next week. OG's supposed to be back within like 10 days, and then even the end of the month, Mitchell Robinson. So you lose your starting three of your 5 starters, your entire front court. It's going to hurt. But I'm excited. You know, when we come back, hopefully we're healthy, and you know we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Especially to still be in the 4 or 5 seed and be that
Right,
injured.
because yeah, being that injured, I figured they would drop possibly even out of the top 6. But you know, the
Yeah.
teams behind them haven't crept up. They still only a couple of games ahead of them, but you beat teams you're supposed to beat, and then all of a sudden it's not so bad. So
Yeah, for sure, for
you
sure.
know, it is what it is. The Knicks play today. Don't know how they're gonna fare. But you know, again, it is what it is. You know, they once they get their guys back, as long as they can maintain. What's funny is like I was reading that between them and the Sixers losing Embiid, they've fallen fast too. But like
Yeah.
what'll happen is these guys will come back for the playoffs, and now it's like if you're a top team, you're like, oh man, instead of having a nice easy first round playoff, you're gonna play a healthy team that the only reason they're there is because they're injured. So like
Yeah.
you're going to have some top matchups that could have been later in the playoffs, but you're going to get them early in the playoffs. So, you know, that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Like, you know, I don't want any part of the Celtics in the first round, but like, you
No,
know, if
yeah.
we end up playing Milwaukee or you know, Indiana or whatever, like that'll be interesting. So, we'll see how that works out, and or Cleveland. Like we could play Cleveland again in the first round, and Cleveland could be the 2 seed. You know what I mean? Like or the 3 seed. So we will see how that works out, but I'm not afraid of them if we're healthy, you know, and
Yeah, no.
we'll just leave it from there, you know.
Yeah, we finally
So
made it to the 6th seed. So,
yeah, yeah. So right now you would play the 3 seed, so you would play Milwaukee,
yeah,
the
I'm
rematch
okay.
from last year.
I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that too,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure. I would take that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a matchup that I would it's
Oh yeah,
definitely favor because
I'm
like you
sure
said,
that
I don't want to play the
they're not
Celtics
afraid.
either. Yeah, I don't want to play the Celtics either. That's
Nobody wants to play the Celtics. Celtics are
no.
the best team. You want to try to avoid them as much as
Yeah,
possible.
I want to upset them.
It would be
Like,
interesting if the only team that actually has had their number in the regular season is Indiana. So that would be interesting if Indiana does end up playing them in the first round.
wow.
It's most likely they won't because they're either going to finish in the top 6 or most likely if they're in the play-in, they'll probably win that first play-in game and then they'll play the 7 seed. But you know, or the 2 seed. So I don't. They'd have to like lose and then or win the second. You know,
Yeah.
the two games to get in. But I don't. Yeah, it seems like you know a team like maybe the Bulls or Atlanta will end up winning that last 8 seed, and then you know the Celtics will just handle them. You
Yeah,
know,
I
it's
just
not
want a
even going to be
team.
an issue.
I want a team that's like that's rough with them, so that if they do win, they get a little banged up and they're
They
tired.
beat
You know
them
what I
up,
mean? Yeah,
right?
like that's what
None
you're
of those
hoping.
teams are going to do
Yeah, I
that.
know.
Maybe Chicago, but they're not going to. They're not going to challenge them. Indiana is. It's not even that they're going to beat them up, rough them up. It's just they score so fucking quickly and so much that
Yeah,
You know, they just,
Yeah, and it's kind
it's
of
hard
looking
to
like
slow them down, and they can outscore you. So, and they have had success, but then again, in the playoffs, it's different stuff. Boston will lock down their defense a little bit more. But I've watched a few of the Celtics games. They've got to be the favorite to win the whole thing because
them
there's
are
just
the
no
Nuggets,
weaknesses. The
man.
only team.
The Nuggets, they look
Well, the
good.
Nuggets are great too, but
Yeah,
like they're just not as deep as the Celtics. Like
yeah, they're
yeah, you
still
have Joker, but they have enough size to slow him down, and they have so much
yeah for
talent
sure.
everywhere else. They have so much talent off the bench. Like they just keep coming at you. Like you rest your starters, and they have like two superstars, and then a couple of really good players. Then you rest your starters, and then you have these three guys coming off the bench that are drilling threes at like 50%. It's
Yeah,
like what the freaking hell. So yeah, they're and the other thing with them is they have to stay healthy like everybody else. But the thing is like even if they lose one guy, they still have enough. They would literally have to be like the Knicks and lose three guys to really be vulnerable. But you never know; that could happen, obviously. So we'll see how it plays out. Just enjoy it for the rest of the month and see where
yeah.
it
The
goes from there.
Celtics are on a 10-0 run right now. The last 10 games, and they're like
Yeah,
7 games ahead of everybody. They're
right.
good. They're good, man.
Yeah, they just dominate everybody, and it's not like last year when the Bucks were dominating everybody in the regular season, but it was basically just Giannis and Drew Holiday. Once Giannis went down in the playoffs, that was a huge blow to them. So, they as good as they were last year, it was really function. It ran through the one player. This team it runs through like three different players. So, you know, we'll
What the
see.
hell does PS mean? It says P.
PS,
Yeah, it says PS on the Celtics. It says clinch Pacific Division,
yeah, probably. I
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
but it has an S, and I don't see an S by itself, so I'm confused. Again, I don't see
Playoff
it.
seed, playoff spot.
Yeah, maybe that's what it
It
playoffs.
becomes a playoff spot. Yeah.
Yeah, they already clinched one. They don't even have to win any more games.
Yeah.
All right, guys, just take the next month off. We're in. We're good.
Yeah, that's what it says. I'm like, wow, that's really early because
Yeah.
damn, they're like, we're so
Oh.
certain by what the seeding is right now that no matter what, you can't fall to the 7th seed and be knocked out.
Yep.
Wow. I don't know. What would you do? Would you rest your starters? No, hell no. You're playing every night.
No. No, but you can. But that's just the thing. You could strategically rest starters. Like you can
Yeah.
rest one guy, and then the other
Yeah.
guys are going to play, and you're still going to win. Then
Yeah,
the
because your
next night you
bench
can
is.
rest another guy, and then
Yeah.
So
Damn, that's gonna be tough to win. They might get their. When's the last time they won their championship?
Celtics. It
Yeah,
wasn't too long ago.
it
It was
wasn't
like
with Jason
2000
Tatum.
something.
Yeah, it wasn't with Jason Tatum.
It wasn't with Jason Tatum. No, they made it to the finals,
Yeah,
but they just haven't. They didn't
yeah.
win.
How do you feel though,
So.
like as a superstar, that you're like, oh, now we're so deep. That's the only reason why we're this good. Like,
Well, I mean, the best teams usually are. And
Yeah.
But what's funny about Tatum is his confidence this year. Like in an interview, he's like, "I want to be the face of the league next year," and it's like he's like, "And I know I have to win a championship to do it."
Yeah.
And my whole thing is like, I still am not buying that, just because even if you win a championship, your team is so deep, and yes. You are the best player, but you're not significantly the best player, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like, okay, yes, you are the best player on the team, but the second best player is really, really freaking close to being as good as you are. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Whereas,
Yeah.
when you have when you look at like the Bucks, like, yeah, you got Dame, but Dame isn't as close to being as good in his career at this point than Giannis. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's even close to as good as he is.
Yeah.
And then you look at the perfect example is the Sixers. They were doing great, but nobody is even close to as good as Embiid on that
Oh,
team.
Joel Embiid. Why do you think
You
he's been
know,
MVP for so many years? He's so talented. You know what I mean?
right? He's dominant, but
Yeah.
he's can never stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing about
That's
him.
the worst thing.
Um,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, because it's like, man, we might be in a championship run if he ever stays healthy.
Yeah.
Like the Knicks, they're built very similar to the Celtics in that, but like their top 2 players or 3 players are really good, but they're not that far above and beyond the other players on the team. And their best player, Randall, is hurt. And, all the other guys are designed to play around him. So they're
Yeah.
built very, very team oriented. They're not a superstar. Like the Heat have Jimmy Butler, who plays and then you have Bam and you have Jimmy, and they're their stars. In the playoffs, Jimmy's just a different animal. Like he's one of your top 2 or 3 players in the league in the playoffs. That's how he plays.
Sure.
And he does okay in the regular season, enough to get by. But it is he just turns it on in the playoffs. It's crazy. And Bam is just a defensive freaking nightmare for everybody. He's so good. He can score. I know in the beginning of the year he took on a little bit more of the scoring.
Yeah, he did.
But right now I feel like he's just kind of back to doing his thing.
Well, that's
and
what
let
I
the
wanted to
rest
do,
of the
because
team
Robinson should do that. That should be a Tyler Hero thing.
Right.
That should be the Jamie, the new guy. You know what I mean? Like those are the guys
Mhm.
that you want them to score. You want Bam to be in the hole, stealing these rebounds. You know what I mean? Getting these assists.
Right, getting the offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Making it uncomfortable as a defender. That's what makes the team successful.
Yeah.
When he's doing stuff like that and making the sacrifices and whatnot.
Because if
So, well, like I said, we'll see. You hope these guys stay healthy. They're just too much size. Like if the Heat's biggest weakness is if you play a team with a lot of size.
yeah,
The Celtics did not have a lot of size last year, but the Denver did, and that gave them problems in the playoffs. So we'll see. They got a little bit bigger this year, and we'll see how. I know they're going to be super confident once they make it to the playoffs. And it's like, okay, now we're here. Now we can turn it on. Spoelstra's as good of a coach as you're going to find. He'll be able to break down. They're pesky. They foul a lot. They're very aggressive, and they try to make you uncomfortable offensively, so that way they can kind of just keep it close and then have Jimmy close it out. That's basically their strategies, which it's a good strategy when you have a guy like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Looking forward to some basketball today, but the middle of the day is going to be all about this race. It starts at 3:30. It'll probably be over by 7. We'll see how many accidents there are.
Yeah, we'll see. 7 sounds probably the latest it'll run. No threat of weather at all.
Okay.
Unless there's some freak dust storm, but I don't see that happening.
Well, they said it was. You said there was rain, no chance of rain. Well, yeah, it doesn't really rain in Vegas, but I guess the wind, yeah.
That's true. I mean, it doesn't. What was that?
The wind makes it easier. So, if it's going to be very windy, like last week, they were asking everybody, do you go for speed or do you go for control? So I imagine if it's really windy, they're going to try and go for control with their cars. Probably,
and it depends on which way the wind is blowing. Like if it's perpendicular to that backstretch, it's going to be, they're going to be jostling around more than if it was, running up and down the stretch.
Right. Okay.
But it's not. It won't be as bad today as it was yesterday. Yesterday it was a steady 30-mile-an-hour wind. Today it's down to 15. So.
Okay. Well, still with the technology today and with the cars, that little bit of wind, they make sure that they utilize it to their advantage.
Oh yeah, as much as they can.
Why don't they put why don't they make a dome for NASCAR?
That's too big.
Yeah, I know, just joking.
I mean, they could probably do it. They could probably do it at Bristol.
Yeah, that's the smallest.
Well, if
track,
we did a dome, though, I mean, you think about it. This is cars, and all that carbon monoxide, you'd be fucking poisoning the fan.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure they have the.
It's a free high.
I'm sure they have the filtration to get most of it out, but in the general,
I can't imagine how loud it would be in a dome.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You ever went go-karting? And they do them in those old warehouses, and it's so damn loud.
Yeah.
Can you imagine cars that actually have a freaking superpower engine?
I mean, I went to Daytona. I'm sitting 4 sections up from these cars, and I still couldn't hear the person next to me when they were going by.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, they're like they're loud. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's great.
But thank you, everybody. We
Oh,
will be
absolutely.
back.
All right. Thanks, Morgan, for joining us.
Thank you, Morgan.
Anytime.
Always.
And,
Every Sunday.
Yep.
I gotta get.
All right.
got
Well,
a-
this is our little live day, guys. Enjoy the night. Enjoy the race. Enjoy
night,
the.
yeah. Take Morgan's
Yep.
pick with a grain of salt. It'll get you mad.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, we appreciate you
I
guys.
love
coming.
it. I love it because Morgan's like he likes it, but he can't commit because he just knows that
Yeah,
it's like an
it's- and
impossible thing to take.
Yeah,
Like
it's
he
like
can't.
if someone said, "Hey, Chiefs or Panthers," that's okay. That's easy. You can't do that
It's
in
one of
NASCAR,
two.
really. Yeah.
Right, because it's like,
Sure.
okay, there's literally like 10 guys that could probably win this race.
Yeah.
And then there's a chance that somebody wrecks and not one of those 10 guys wins. So,
Yeah, or
you
maybe
know,
the tire changer screws up and drops the tire, and they lose all like position in the pit lane. You know?
Wow.
yep.
All it takes is a tire guy,
Yeah.
and then that guy's fired. You get
There's
fired.
there have been times where they'll switch around the pit crews because one of them's faster, and they'll stick them on the driver that's actually in the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's nice. That guy.
that's how close these races can get.
Do they get a ring? Do they get a ring if they win?
I mean, they get a big ass trophy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is the one where they drink the milk afterwards? Isn't there
Brickyard,
one?
Brickyard 400. Yep, in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
There you go. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to that race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Don't fucking do that, John. Come on.
Sorry. You know what? I
listen.
don't know. There's always NASCAR has like the quirky things that they do,
Yeah.
and it's just random sometimes.
It
So
does
like
have-
I'll just randomly remember something quirky and then be like, oh yeah, what was this from? And then
Yeah.
What
that,
about?
mean,
that's
hell,
just what it is.
Does the winner have to milk the cow and put it into the trophy?
No, not anymore. They stopped that in the 60s.
Oh damn, lame. I would have breastfed
Jesus.
the milk right out of it. Where's all the pregnant girls on the track?
Oh my god.
And that's where
Damn.
you get the milk.
Oh. Man.
I would suddenly be okay with second place.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm taking first place, baby.
You would, Dave. That's all right. I'll finish last place and collect my $500,000 check.
Right.
Because thinking about it, for last place, that pays off my house, that pays off my car, that pays off
Yeah.
everything that I own.
Can you
You know
imagine
what I mean?
losing and still winning in life?
Yeah.
That's it. Sir, you're gonna make a nice little paycheck. Congratulations. No matter if you win or lose. You're like, oh, I'm cool with that. I'm taking that to the bank.
Right.
That's it.
So you win that much money in first
Shit,
place?
I'd be a headhunter. Like, I'd literally just be like, pay me to take out certain people and I'll do it. You know what I mean? But obviously, like, you only get one shot per race because chances are then you'll get wrecked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that would make
basically.
NASCAR more interesting.
I remember playing
Like you-
NASCAR,
like
the
you- like-
game.
What?
I remember
Well,
playing
like, can you imagine, like, let's say, can you imagine, like, all right, you're racing, and after like 5 laps, they release these like these people like in like black cars and like all fucking tires, and their job is to just fucking take you out, you know?
Turn it
like
into
you have a
Mad
little
Max.
extra, right? Exactly, like and like you just have to survive like 2 laps, and then they go away for like 2 laps.
Yeah, no, I used to play NASCAR, the game, and if you play with your friend, we start at the back, and then I would turn around in the game, and
Drive
he would
backward?
go. Yeah, I would drive going that, and then I would crash head first into the first place person, and it would obliviate everybody, and then
That's
he would
funny.
be all in the back, so he would avoid the accident, and then everybody's like destroyed. And then yeah, you're destroyed, but you just destroyed everybody on the track. And then you win the
That's crazy.
usually win the race because dude, you're doing 190 miles an hour and about to crash in the first place. It's about to get really dicey out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would they do if that happened? How would they stop it? There's no stopping it. That's what I'm saying. There's no refs out there. There's nothing.
I mean, all the other drivers would probably stop.
Yeah, who cares?
Get out and stop pummeling the guy.
Right.
Oh, dude, it's about to be a massacre. He's gonna just crash into
That
story
would
seas.
all of a sudden that would bring out people's like all of a sudden people will come out and be like, all right, now we're fighting,
Right.
Now we're fighting. But yeah, everybody enjoy the race today, man. Make sure to put your bets in. Make sure to go and drink a couple beers. Not sponsored by any beers, so we're not gonna put any names in. But make sure to go out there and do your thing, man. It's 3:00. Is 3:00 the race?
3:30. 3:30 on, I think, Fox this week.
Get your butt in the couch. Get your recliner on. Get your old lady there so you can yell at her and get your beer in. You know what I mean? That's what NASCAR's about.
Yep.
Honey, get the damn beer for me out the fridge. I'm watching NASCAR. 15 laps now to go, and Joey Logano's gonna win this and get Butcher and the Beard's bet right. That's it. That's what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So get it out.
I'll see if I can put some phone calls in.
What?
And maybe I'll get my internet back.
Yeah, maybe. And then you
Maybe.
I hope I can watch the race tonight if I don't have the internet soon. I don't know what
watch
the
it
fuck's
on
going
watch it on your
here.
phone. I'll get you the link.
Yeah.
That's too funny, man.
I'll get the link and I'll be listening to it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then when you hear the guys talking, they're going to another commercial.
Yep.
And another commercial, here it is. You're like, oh damn, another commercial?
Yeah.
That's why I don't watch
Another
the 15
commercial.
laps, so that I can see.
Well,
no
that's how they
commercials.
get paid, between their sponsorships and the commercials. You know?
Plus, if
I
you're
don't-
drinking that much, you need bathroom breaks.
You do.
Oh my god. I just
Unless you're
wear a
gonna
diaper.
unless you're gonna wear the same diapers that the drivers wear,
Why
because
not?
apparently they can't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Why'd you build a toilet into your recliner? Shut up and turn the race on.
Turn the race on. I'm
Just
in
have
your
everything hooked
NASCAR.
up and it goes right.
Yeah. If you're a NASCAR fan and you pee in the couch cushion, let us know in the comments.
Right. Exactly.
We don't judge. We don't care. You can pee all over the house. It's your house.
Yep.
Just don't pee on the floorboard because then it will get moldy.
Yep.
Nothing like nasty.
Yeah, we don't want to do
pee
that.
water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no mold.
But all right, everybody, I gotta go. We love you all. Make sure to subscribe. Get on there. Thank you, Morgan, again for coming in on our NASCAR Sunday.
Absolutely.
And and Morgan, tell him that it's time to go. Count them down like a race. What do you do? 3, 2, 1. Start.
We
your
got
engines.
3, 2, 1. Start those engines.
We're out.
Later.